One of the structure of the skin is divided into several layers. As shown in the figure 1, the epidermis is composed of mainly keratinocytes. Beneath the epidermis is the basement membrane, also known as the dermo-epidermal junction. The narrow multi-layered structure anchored the epidermis to the dermis. The layer below the dermis, the hypodermis, consists largely of fat. When we say epidermis is the outer layer of the skin defined as a stratified squamous epithelium, primarily comprising keratinocytes in progressive stage of the differentiation. Keratinocytes produce the protein keratin and other major building blocks cells of the epidermis. As the epidermis is avascular containing no blood vessels, it is entirely dependent on the underlying dermis for nutrient delivery and waste disposal to the basement membrane. The primary factor of the epidermis is the act of physical biological barrier to the external environment, preventing penetration by irritants and allergens. At the same time, it prevents the loss of water and mainly internal homeostasis. The epidermis is composed of a layer, most body part of a 4-layer, but those with the thickest skin have 5. The layers are stratum corneum, also known as corneal layer. The second one is stratum lucidum, only found in a thick skin, that is, the palms of the hands and the soles of feet and the digits. The third is stratum granulosum, also known as granular layer. Fourth, stratum venosum, also known as Purkinje cells layer. The lastly, stratum basales, also known as germinative layer. The stratum corneum can be visualized as a brick wall, with the corneocytes forming the bricks of laminar lipids forming the mortar. As corneocytes contain a water-remaining substance, a natural moisturizing factor, they attract and hold water. The high water content of the corneocytes cause them to swell, keeping the stratum corneum permeable and elastic, the preventing of the formation of fissures and cracks. This is an important consideration when applying topical medication to the skin. Those are absorbed through the epidermal barriers into the underlying tissues and structure. Percutaneous absorption and transferred to the systematic circulation. Next is the skeletal system. The skull. The skull is a bone structure that forms the head and vertebrates. It supports the structure of the face and provides a protective cavity for the brain. The skull is composed of 2 parts, the cranium and mandible. Next is spine. What is a spine? Your spine or backbone is body central support structure. It connects different parts of your musculoskeletal system. Your spine helps you sit, stand, walk, twist, and bend. Back injuries, spinal cord condition, and other problems can damage the spine and cause back pain. Next is chest. The chest is a part of the body between your neck and your abdomen. It includes the ribs and the breastbone. Inside your chest are several organs, including the heart, lungs, and the esophagus. The pleura are large thin sheets of tissues lines and inside of the chest cavity. Next is arm. In human anatomy, the arm is the part of upper limb between the glenohumeral joint, shoulder joints, and the elbow joint. In commonly uses, the arm extends through the hand. Next is hand. A hand is a prehensile, multi-fingered appendage located at the end of the forearm or forelimb, or premises of primates, such as humans, chimpanzees, monkeys, or lemurs. A few vertebrates, such as a koala, which has two opposable thumbs on each hand and fingerprint extremely similar to the human fingerprint, are often described as having hands instead of paws, and their front limbs. The raccoon is usually described as having hands. Two opposable thumbs are walking. Next is pelvis. The pelvis is the basin-shaped structure that supports the spinal column and protects the abdominal organ. It contains the following: sacrum, a spade-shaped bone that is formed by fusion of five originally separate sacral vertebrae. The lower narrow part of the uterus womb, located between the bladder and the rectum. It forms a canal that opens into the vagina, which leads to the udder of the body, vagina, the passage through which fluids passes out of the body during menstrual periods. While pelvis shape can vary widely among females, there are four general types. The four general types is gynocoid, android, anthropoid, and platyphyloid. The shape of the pelvis may affect whether you can give birth vaginally. The gynocoid pelvis is the most common pelvis shape in the female and the favorable for the vaginal birth. Next is legs. The bone of the human leg, like those of the other mammals, consists of the basal segment and vertebral thigh bone and an intermediate segment, the tibia, or also known as shin bone, in the smaller fibula, and the distant segment, the piece of foot, consisting the tarsal, metatarsal, and the phalanges, or also known as toes. In particular usage, the leg extends from the top of the thigh down to the foot. However, in the medical terminology, the legs refer to the portion of the lower extremity from the knee to the ankle. In human anatomy, the lower leg is the part of the lower limb that lies between the knee and the ankle. The tightness between the hips and knee make up of the rest of the lower limb. The term lower limb or the lower extremity is commonly used to describe all the legs. Feet or foot. Foot refers to the single unit of measurement. Feet is the plural alternative in this sense. The difference between foot and feet and mass depends on how large and distance or length is that you are measuring. There are no evidence that the shape of your foot indicates what part of the world your ancestor walked through, and no research that proves that foot shape is connected to the personality traits. The shape of the foot can influence the way you move. The major muscle of the human body. Masseter. The masseter runs from the temporal bone that form part of the sides and base of the skull to the lower jaw, the mandible. It lifts the lower jaw to close the mouth, and the masseter is the strongest muscle in our body. Temporal. The temporalis begins to the bone, the skull, and the front, and the at the front, at the side, and the base, and the temporal. Its front to the top of the low jaw. The mandible, like the masseter, the mouth helps close the mouth. Biceps. Branch. The bicep branch runs from the shoulder to the elbow. It is attached to the shoulder blade, the scapula, and extend along the front surface of the open arm, upper arm bone. The bicep contracts the arm bend and the elbow. Notice that the sound of the humor. We call the area of the elbow the funny bone. Deltoid. The deltoid is the triangular muscle of the shoulder. The strongest point is the central section which rises the arm sideways. The front, back, and parts of the muscle twist the arm. The deltoid comes from the Greek word deltos, meaning shaped like a river, delta, which is triangular. Pectoralis major is a large fan-shaped muscle is cover much of the front upper chest, beginning the breastbone or sternum, including the second to the sixth ribs. From there, the pectoralis major attached to the collarbone or conveys the upper arm bone. Just below the shoulder, this muscle moves the arm across the body. Adductor lobes is located on the inner thigh. Conduct means moves, so this muscle allows the thigh bone to move inward and in sides. Soleus. Located in the lower leg, soleus runs from the lower leg bone to the heel. This soleus muscle flexes the foot by moving the foot at the ankle. It also helps circulation by the pumping blood back toward the head.